This podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Is it a chill or a ghostly breeze? A knock, a tap, what do you believe? Ghosts, gossip, gather around, where the lost and the haunted are found. Ghosts, gossip, don't make a sound. Truth or tales, we'll dig it out.
Take 3. My name is Ashley, and I'm the host of Ghost Gossip. Welcome to Take 3 of this train wreck, but we're on video.
And the good thing is, you guys haven't seen the train wreck.
No, and you won't.
Yes, you're seeing the smooth, sleek Airstream just stroll on by. All right.
He's watching himself. It's funny. I can't see him because my laptop's in front
Well,
of me.
I can't see you.
Guys, we have recorded this. We have tried 3 times. This is our 3rd. I can't even remember what our cold open was.
Now I can
Screw
do
a
that.
cold open. Sup, y'all.
I like a cold sandwich, cold deli sub. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not to the sub.
I mean, I love subs too, but the joke wasn't funny. But so we are here.
Excuse you. Excuse you.
Hey, Taurus, John told me I was too mean to you.
Yeah, you are.
And then meanwhile, he's like calling out his wife. And I'm like, dude, you tell me I'm too mean?
I am obnoxious. I am a drama king.
Wow, I got that on recording.
I am.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks.
I've left her speechless. This never happens.
You know what's really cool about this? Even though I can't see you, I can see a blurred version of you. But it's funny because I feel like I can breathe and get comfortable. Whereas when we were on the same side of the room, I felt like I was about to have a panic attack.
It's kind of like the separated mattress thing.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about Sleep Number Bed for a minute and how it saved our marriage?
Let's plug the sleep number. What is your sleep number setting, my love?
45.
And I can go down as low as a 45. I tend to stay on a 65 to 75. Okay. Turn me down a little bit because I'm really loud in my head. Just turn my headphones down.
Is that better?
That's way too much.
Better?
Yes, that's better.
Lord.
Okay. Turn me up a little bit.
Oh my God.
I just want to get it right. I can't reach over there to dinosaur.
You called me a dinosaur? You just told me I was Benjamin Button aging backwards, and now I'm T-Rex all of a sudden. Look, I told you. You put a camera on him, he starts performing.
T-Rex.
You told me I was
My wife.
You told me
My wife.
My wife. You told me I was Benjamin Button. Now you're telling me I'm.
You do. You age in reverse, my love. I'm getting older. You're getting younger. I'm sorry.
That's what happened to my dad. People would think that my mom.
Well, exactly. Tell me, what happened with your dad?
Dad. People thought my dad was my mom's dad. After a while, my mom is older than my dad.
Yeah, Bubby's like, what, 35?
Which is funny because I'm 40, but yes.
So you're like 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all age backwards in my family. It's wonderful.
Except me.
Not you.
No.
But what we were saying is.
You're a Scorpio.
Whoa.
You're a Scorpio.
Yeah.
I'm a Taurus. And
you married
I rock.
an awesome person.
And likewise, touche.
Somebody teach this man how to use touche in a sentence.
See, I'm of the persuasion that touche is one of those words that you can use pretty much any way you want. Yes, it has a defined meaning.
Daniel literally texted his best friend a selfie, and all it said was touche.
And I got back a question mark. Thanks, Justin.
So I text Justin.
Appreciate you.
He doesn't know the meaning. He doesn't know how to use the word touche.
Yeah.
So he got your back. He sent back touche.
Yeah, thank you for your token.
And let me explain one thing to people who think I'm too hard on Daniel. He is not made for an agreeable woman.
No. An agreeable woman couldn't deal with me.
No. And
I'm a lot.
He is a lot. And
but people don't see that.
They don't see that. They see the fun side of you. They don't see all the sides of you that I see. And the thing is, I love you entirely for all of them. And then one of the things that we loved about each other is because we're all multifaceted.
Very much so.
The guys I dated, my husbands before, they did not love me completely. They loved parts of me. Whereas you love, it's okay if I'm hard or emotional, or if I'm in the middle of a panic attack, or I'm in a perimenopausal rage, or if I'm flowers and sunshine and I'm being the sweetest and most caring. You love me at every phase of my life, and you have for the past 7 years. And guys, we're about to celebrate our 3-year wedding anniversary in a week
Pearls
and a
and
half.
leather, I found out.
Oh, wow. Yes, that's, I guess, the 3-year
That's what I hear.
anniversary gift. Pearls and leather. That sounds raunchy. But just like Daniel has a lot of sides that people don't see of him. And I do. And sometimes my tone in podcast has been because I've had a week long of a very stubborn man who has been quite difficult to deal with. And I'm finally at the point where I'm done being patient. And I can be hard.
And I would like to add to that, kind of even go further. There's facets of me and facets of you that are really completely opposite. Do those things or those facets rub each of us the wrong way sometimes? Absolutely. But at the same time, I love you enough and I care about you enough to appreciate that about you, because I don't need you to agree with me all the time,
No.
because I don't expect you to agree with me all the time.
And I don't expect you to give me my way all the time.
And so, I mean, you get what you give, right? So like if you want somebody to allow you the space, then you have to allow them that same space. And that's why I think a lot of relationships, they don't communicate in that way. And we had to learn to, and we're still learning to, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
so it's about being 1% better.
That's right.
And I really think, whether it's communication or whether it's a relationship, whether it's work, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. I really think the key to feeling peace and contentment and joy and growth in your life is about communication. I think it really boils down to it. When you boil everything down to it, it's communicating, number one, honestly with yourself. And people struggle with that. I struggle with that sometimes.
Self-awareness is hard.
You have to communicate with yourself in
Yep.
that inner dialogue that you have going on 24/7. Sometimes you just have to put it on stop, and you have to just sit yourself down and have a conversation.
And I hate to get on that tangent, and I know John didn't mean any harm by it, but I know he's not the first person to say it. And, the reality of it is
But you are mean to me.
Sure. But we have friends that could not handle me, and I'm okay with that.
Trust me, we have friends that couldn't handle me.
Absolutely
There's a
not.
lot of people that can't handle me.
Daniel's a lot, but he is perfect for me. He balances.
Absolutely. And you are perfect for me. We are two jigsaw puzzles of people in life, and we make a beautiful picture.
Yep. So the next time you think, man, she's being hard on him.
Trust me, I can take it, y'all.
Oh, yeah. And he dishes it right back.
Damn right.
Well, gosh, we just went on a tangent. What we were talking about today is when we went to Helen, Georgia with some friends, Daniel.
Drinking the beer. Sorry, I interrupted you, but when you say Helen, Georgia, all I think is about lederhosen and beer.
See what I mean? But because I'm the bitch, because I can say, Daniel, I don't like when you interrupt me, and people get rubbed wrong that way.
I don't get rubbed wrong that way.
Hell no. Stop interrupting me. But Daniel Scott, I will come around this table.
No, you won't. You couldn't reach me if you did.
But so Daniel and we were at Helen, and we were sitting around this like picnic table, and he started telling people about his dad and the stories of him and his dad when he was younger. And so for those of you that are new, I hope this is not your first episode, but if it is,
welcome.
I'm so sorry you got.
Yeah, you're getting a tsunami of information.
You're getting the marriage counseling. I did marriage counseling with John earlier. We talked about marriage and stuff earlier. Daniel started telling these stories of his dad who owned and ran a crematorium when Daniel was little, up until a few years ago when he retired. And his stories were so funny.
And outlandish and unbelievable.
Yes, and everybody was cackling. And Justin's like, Ashley, can you handle constructive criticism? I'm like, yeah, of course. What's up? And he's like, you need to let Daniel talk on the podcast. And I'm like, I don't cut him out.
I'm listening. Like
he's legitimately, he's like, the back and forth is so funny. You need to have more back and forth. And I'm like, Justin, he doesn't have back and forth with me on the podcast. Guys, the only thing that I cut Daniel out is when he's being not politically correct.
Or mouth noises.
Mouth noises and breathing. Like, my gosh, I do not cut him out. Like, seriously, the only times I'm cutting him is if I know that he's going to offend my listeners and he's talking about something so random that doesn't apply, or he's breathing into the microphone or smacking his mouth. And he goes, oh, well, y'all really need to have more back and forth. And I'm like, tell him that. So
he did.
Yeah, he sure did. And the reality of it is, Daniel is so funny and his stories don't seem real. And when we were dating, I thought he was so full of shit
Until you met my mom.
until I met your mom and she started telling me the same stories that you were telling me. And I was like, oh, so he's not lying to me. Got it.
And she was probably telling them like so nonchalantly, like it
Uh huh.
was
And my
like,
face was like this.
what? This isn't normal.
Yeah. Cause your stories were outlandish, just like your father.
Yeah, they
And
are.
so he started telling some stories, and I was like, you know what? We got to have an episode of this. So this is kind of like a bonus episode. We are having our anniversary this week. I wanted something easy to edit.
Deuce Quattro.
The 3-year anniversary. Yes, but it's our
Deuce,
3-year anniversary, and
yes.
that's not how you say 24 in Spanish.
That's how I say it. And
24.
I like,
What, don't you like 2-4?
yes. 2-4, bro.
Yes, so September 24th is our wedding anniversary. We
Oh,
eloped.
I just thought about this. This is 324.
Oh, yes. September 24th is our 3-year anniversary, and we are going out of town this week. So I just want something easy for you to listen to on Monday. So we're going to listen to some Daniel stories.
So is that my
Go for it, babe.
okay? So I'm going to start this off a little dark, and it'll get lighter as we go. Okay. So my dad ran a transport service. He started his business with a guy who did embalming. He was going to do the embalming side, and my father was going to do the transport side. So about I guess 2 years into it, my dad bought his partner out and just started doing the transport service full time. Now, this is the late 80s. This business didn't exist at the time. Most funeral homes at the time, they had guys that would be on call. There would always have to be at least 2 of them on call, running calls 24/7. So they're having to pay somebody full time. And these guys, for the most part, are just sitting there. They might go on a couple of calls a day, maybe 1 or 2 at night. Like, it's just a huge expense. So my dad literally went around to funeral home after funeral home, like cold knocking doors, and pitched them this idea. If you get a call from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, call me. I'll go take the call. And that was the idea. Ran for almost 40 years. And one of the main funeral homes that he worked for had a crematory. And so my father got his crematory license and managed and ran their crematory for over 30 years. That's my dad's business. The first memory I have of that part of my dad's business is I was probably 3 years old, maybe 4. And we had this, the old metal desk like you see in some shops. I mean, it's like the drawers on the right and left, and it's just a big metal table, probably like, I don't know, 3 by 6 foot long.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, we had one of those sitting out in the yard by the wood line. Yeah, I don't know. So it was just randomly sitting there. It was probably like my dad had built my mom a shop because she was a hairdresser, and it was probably like an old one they had changed out or something. So it's sitting there, and I remember my dad had come home. He had a call late at night, and I woke up the next morning and I went out on the carport. We didn't have a garage. We just had a carport. And I remember looking out there, and there were a pair of white sneakers and a shirt and blue jeans, and they were covered in blood. And it was from the person my dad picked up.
What?
Yes. For whatever reason, my dad had gotten left with the clothes of this person who had been either or beaten or whatever, who had died. And these were literally just sitting on this desk. That was my first memory. Okay. Pretty dark as a 4-year-old. So from then on, like I grew up knowing that my dad went and picked up dead people. He hadn't started running the crematory yet, but that's what he did. Like, he also had a newspaper route that I went on at one time, which was even sketchier than dead people. It was a spray painted. Side note, it was a red spray painted station wagon that did not have functional brakes.
Oh, shit.
He sat in the middle on the bench seat and would throw papers out of the passenger side window. The way he would stop this car, because there was nobody on the road in Woodruff, in 89 at 4 a.m. I mean, traffic laws didn't apply. But the way he would stop this car is he would cut it off coming down the hill on Kelly Road before he got in the driveway. And he knew when to cut it off. He knew what speed to get it to. And then he would run it into this tree. It wasn't a big tree. It was probably like 6 inches like diameter. The tree was bald. The bumper was bent in. And that he would hit the tree, and that's how the car would stop, and he'd pull the parking brake. True story. So we grew up different, is what she's saying.
We were raised so differently.
So so my parents got divorced when I was, I guess, 5. I don't know exactly when it was finalized, but I was right around 5. So my dad bought a trailer and ended up putting the trailer, and by this time he had started running the crematory.
He
So
started running the crematory?
managing,
Okay.
operating the crematory. Well, the funeral home had land.
Was it old land?
Good question.
Or was it new?
It's a really good question because it was beside a crematory and across the street from a graveyard. So it was the old office for the graveyard for the funeral home. They had a trailer out there, but the trailer had been gone for years, and it was just basically a parking lot. So they let my dad put the trailer on their land. They paid the water bill.
Which is like still there.
Yes, it's still there.
Still there today.
And my dad rents it out. So it was beside the crematory, which was super convenient for him to do cremations because he could literally walk down there and cross the street from the cemetery. So that's where he lived. It's probably my 7th or 8th birthday or Christmas. We had gotten bicycles and a go-kart. Mind you, we lived in a single wide trailer. Where did our bicycles and our go-kart go? Well, naturally, the crematory had a garage. Right?
Naturally.
So that's where our bicycles and our go-kart were stored. So when we would want to go get them, we knew where the key was hidden. We would go get the key, unlock the crematory, open the garage because it was a manual job. It had no garage opener. We were the garage opener.
Just like we were the remotes kids.
Exactly. Click, click, click. I told Isaiah, I remember when we got the 4th station, and that was a big deal because we only had 3 before that. He's like, 4 stations. He's like, you're cooked. I'm like, no, that's how we grew up, bro. So we would go get our bicycles and our go-kart out of the garage of the crematory. And now you have to remember, back then cremations weren't as prevalent and popular today as they were back in the early to mid 90s.
Wait, they weren't or they were?
They weren't.
They weren't as popular as they are today.
Correct. Sometimes it would get backed up. And I'm sure your listeners aren't all that familiar with the cremation process. Sometimes there would be someone waiting to be cremated, and we would have to escort them out of the way to get our bicycle or our go-kart. They were in cardboard boxes. I won't say we never lifted up the corner of a cardboard box,
Daniel.
but we got our bikes out.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was.
I'm sure any kind of statute of limitations for any crime that you could have committed has passed.
Yeah. So I mean, but that was what I want people to understand is, and it still is, that's completely normal to me. Like that in my mind, that seems completely normal. Now I know for most people that's like, but for me, okay. I mean, for me, that's like someone telling their kids to take the trash out. Like it's that normal. So let's fast forward to when I was 12. Here's another good story. This one's a little dark too. So my dad did calls for the coroner, and he called him at the time the coroner. His name was Joe Vineset. So he would always call it a Joe Vineset call. 12 years old, and I'm over there that weekend visiting him. He's like, "Hey, you want to go on a Joe Vineset call with me?" I'm like, "Sure." We go to we go to the funeral home. Pick up the body. The body has to go down to Newberry, which is about an hour away, to get an autopsy. And then we have to wait for the autopsy to be done. And then we have to take the body back to the crematory. Well, it was actually 2 bodies. It was a couple. And it was wintertime, and they had lost power, and they had put a generator up underneath their trailer, and the carbon monoxide had killed them during their sleep. They had to do an autopsy to figure out, exactly was there foul play, what the circumstance was. So drove down there. It's the last time, side note, it's the last time I've eaten Long John Silver's. Okay? I will not eat Long John Silver's again. We take them down there, get it done. We take them back to the funeral home. Now, this is like a all-day process, right? We left at like 8 in the morning, and now it's like 9 at night. I follow my dad into the prep room, which is where they unload the bodies. They unzip the body bag, and they begin to take the man out of the body bag and put him on the prep table.
Y'all, trigger warning. I don't know what for, but just
So
gross stuff.
I'm just standing there, like watching all this happen. And I remember very vividly, I'm looking at the man, like at the top of his head down to his feet. And I remember his right shoulder and his neck and the side of his face being completely like purple and black and green. And later on, my dad told me that was from the carbon monoxide poisoning. It speeds up the decomposition process. So this was within 2 days of them dying, they had already started advanced decomposition. And my dad looked at me while they're putting this body on the prep table, and he looks at me, and I'm just standing there, 12 years old, completely frozen.
Kind of like how your video is right now.
Yeah. And so he looks at me, he's like, you can go sit in the van if you want. Not like go sit in the van. He's like, if you want. And so
It's optional.
And so I was like,
Why, question. Why were you inside? Why were you in there? Why did you go in?
because we got out to unload the bodies, and I just followed him in.
So there was no like, son, you don't need to see this.
No.
You know, I've told your dad so many times in the past 7 years, I question your parenting, Robin.
You still question mine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's things that you say and do. I'm like, Daniel.
I'm like, what?
And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, we were raised different.
Well, trust me, we are learning. We're all learning right now how differently we were raised.
So, yeah, I mean, there was no like.
Just so everybody's aware, the only dead body that I saw as a child was my grandfather's, and I was 13, and he was in the hospital bed, and he had just passed away. I wasn't running around moving dead bodies out of my garage.
Well, I'm glad you go back to the garage, because opposite the garage is where, so if you went into the crematory garage, take a right, and that's where the actual, I don't want to call it an oven.
What do they call it? They call it something.
It's a
well, what is? There's a term.
It starts with a C.
I don't know. I'm not finding it, but I know that I've heard your father call it something before.
So I'm glad you brought up the garage. When you walk into the garage, to the right is where the crematorium actually was. Well, it had I don't know of a better way to put this, like a viewing port, but it wasn't
Like
really
a little door.
It was a little door, like probably it wasn't glass. It was probably like maybe 12 inches by 12 inches. And what it had a little latch on it, and you open it. And what it was for the operator to be able to look in there and to make sure everything was going all right. Right.
Yeah.
Like to be able to check on it. I remember very vividly my dad picking me up and holding me up and opening this and me looking in. Like, hey, son, check this out.
You want to see something?
And I just remember like,
It's lit.
these giant flames coming down.
No.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah.
Robin, my man. What?
It was in operation. So, moving on, let everybody catch their breath.
As a mother.
So it's funny. It's funny to me because, like,
could you imagine doing that with one of our children?
I mean, yeah.
Daniel.
I mean, that's what I don't think people really understand is how it's not necessarily, I don't think it's desensitized to like death, because I'm not, but it's the process after.
You are desensitized to what happens after. Yeah.
Yes, because it is a process. Like
well, I'm desensitized. I talk about so much of it. Like,
so a lot of people, I think, have the idea that when somebody's cremated, it's just ashes left.
Do you have to get into this part?
Well, I think that it's important because there's.
It's a lot, though.
It is a lot,
and I didn't think you were going to get into this. I thought you were just going to tell stories about like funny stories.
Okay, so we'll skip that.
Yes, please. Good God, yes. Even if it's just for me.
It's super interesting to me.
If y'all want to hear about what happens, if y'all want an episode just about how cremation is handled, then we can do that. But on this episode,
we definitely can.
This episode is dedicated to the crazy, outlandish stories.
Okay, so let's move from there. And this is kind of where the process was going to lead to. We literally had a scarecrow one year for Halloween that had actual artificial hips and prosthetics hanging from a tree across the street from the crematory and the graveyard.
Is that not illegal? Is there not a law?
It's a true story. Flannel shirt and everything.
Did your dad hang that up?
I'm pretty sure we used a pillowcase and we drew the face, like we drew the face on the pillowcase and then stuffed it full of hay, and then the attachments were added and then we hung it from the tree. Yeah. True story. Happy Halloween, y'all.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, but next
And best scarecrow I've ever seen. Tell you that. Scared the shit out of people.
Well, I bet with a prosthetic hip, yeah.
Okay. You know where that road is. You know that big curve?
Yes, I do.
So literally that tree, I don't know if it's still there, but I'm pretty sure that big tree
Yes, it's still there.
that's where it was hanging.
It's like a big oaks tree that's looming.
Yes.
Right
in the corner.
Oh my God.
Yep. Just
Daniel.
saying, hey, y'all. Happy Halloween.
Daniel,
Yep.
your dad knew about this?
He made it.
That's what I asked you and
Yeah.
you didn't answer. You were like, well, we stuffed the, no. Your father knew about.
It was a family project.
Holy sh.
Yeah. We did this as a family.
Did your sister partake?
Yeah. She probably blocked it out, but
Hey, that's a first. We've been together 7 years and I've heard
I
all.
swear I've told you that
You
story.
have not told. I do disagree, sir.
Maybe because it's so normal.
You built a scarecrow out of.
So it wasn't necessarily like the super scarecrow. It was just your regular scarecrow with an artificial hip.
Modifications.
Just an add-on, an accessory, if you will.
A bonus. Good God.
Yeah. Moving on from the scarecrow. Let's bump it up about, I don't know, I was probably 13 before the first time I went on a call with my dad. The first call I went on
Wow.
the first call I went on with my father, we went to Charleston. It was the first time I'd ever been to Charleston. We went and picked up a body, and then we brought it home. It was literally like on a Tuesday night.
Okay. Sounds kind of normal.
That's what I'm saying. It's, hey, you want to go on a call with me? Sure. We drove to Charleston, picked up a body, brought it back to the funeral home, came home, right? Not a big deal, at least for me. So the second call I went on with my father, well, I take that back because I just totally contradicted myself about the whole Joe Vincent call. I think that was the first like out of town trip was the one in Charleston. The second out of town trip I went on, we went to Bull Street.
Yeah. Some of them might know this story.
Yes.
You've talked about this one before.
Yes. So we went to Bull Street.
The Bull
which is
Street
the
episode.
Sanitarium Insane Asylum and for the state of South Carolina for
It was in
100 years?
Yeah, it was in Columbia, South Carolina, and now it's apartments.
Yeah.
It's luxury apartments.
Yeah.
They turned it into apartments. Oh my God.
The funny thing about the Bull Street was when you pull in, there's like a 10 or 12 foot chain link fence with razor wire on the top or barbed wire, whatever it was. And you pull into like a little guard shack, they let you in. I remember going through that fence and then seeing an individual completely naked run across the lawn towards the chain link fence and start climbing it. And like some orderlies or guards or whatever running and pulling this person off of the fence and dragging them back to the building.
Jesus.
So then we pull up to the building. Dad's like, sit here. So at that time you had to like go and sign in, and the actual morgue was a separate building on a different part of the campus. And there was nobody actually at the morgue. You just got your paperwork, drove over there, and then got the body you were supposed to get.
Hopefully.
I mean, sketchy, right?
Yeah. We
So-
talked about another
so
story
ju-
about when you don't pick up the right body.
Yes. So I just remember sitting in the car being like, this is scary. It was scary. And so we got the body, and I'd gone on to another call with him down there. But one of the funniest stories, this was probably years before that, he had gone down there, and where you check in, it's just like a little station. And I guess it's kind of like the DMV. You go check in, and then you go sit down, and once they get their paperwork, that's when you get it. So he's sitting there in this chair, and he said this guy like comes up, he's wearing this like regular clothes and sits down beside him. And they're sitting there like having a normal conversation for like 5 minutes. He said all of a sudden the guy gets quiet. And Daddy's like, okay, this is kind of weird. Just kind of, he just minds his own business. He said the guy's sitting there for probably another 5-10 minutes. And then all of a sudden he starts freaking out. Like, they're on me, and starts like clawing at himself and stands up and just starts trying to take off his clothes. And then these orderlies just show up and like drag him away. They're like, we're sorry.
Whoops.
Like, why was this guy? Why was my guy, who's obviously there for a reason, just roaming around?
He was just
right?
taking
Just-
his evening stroll through the Bull Street
Yeah. So,
morgue.
yeah.
Why? Who let him in here?
So he This is when
Oh
this is
my
another funny
god.
story. This one
Dog.
always makes me just like crack up because if you know just knowing my dad
To
a-
know him
a-
is to love him.
and to know him and to think about like his genuine reaction during the story I'm about to tell you just makes me happy. I know it's kind of sick after I tell you, but it's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
So this was probably a year into him starting to transport bodies, like full time as a job. So he had picked up a body at Spartanburg Regional, and where Spartanburg Regional was at the time, there wasn't as many like entrances and exits. And so to get out from where you had to pick up the bodies at the morgue, you had to go over these railroad tracks, and it's kind of the hood over there, you know?
Still is, yeah.
Yeah. So he goes over these railroad tracks and
Oh.
he hears, he said, I don't know at what point I threw it into park and actually he said, only thing I remember is looking back and I was about 100 yards away from the van. And I finally stopped and looked back over my shoulder. So
The dead body
my
made
dad,
a
my
noise.
dad's like, this thing is not dead. Like he's like, I don't know. I'm leaving. I'm out.
You know what's funny is I talked to your dad when I started this podcast. You remember when I talked to him on the phone and I was like, "Hey, Robin, can I ask you a question?" Because his dad is a pretty religious man, and I know there's members of his family that they don't say anything about what I do. I know they might not agree with it completely, but we're Southern and they're polite.
Yeah.
That means they talk about me when I'm not around. And which is fine. I understand. Like, I get not everybody's going to like it. But I asked them one day, I was like, Robin, you have been around death so much in your life. Like, you have transported, you've seen, I mean, he's picked up everybody. Has he ever had encounters with maybe spirits from the bodies that he's transporting? And his response shocked me. And he was just like, no. I mean, just as
Yeah.
no. Like, he's never had any that he knows of encounters with these people. You know, to him, they are just simply bodies and the soul has left them and they have moved on. And he is simply performing a task to move them. And his job is to respect them and to take them to the next destination.
Yeah, and I think it was when we had that when he was talking about that. And I know that we've talked about it. The part that he saw was the people that were left behind.
Yes, he was more aware of the families.
Yeah, he was aware of the effects that that person's passing had on other people, and he was extremely, extremely reverent to those people. And I know that, and you know this, I joke around about it. Trust me, my dad jokes around about it too. Like I've called him, and he's like, "You kill him, we grill him." So, okay, like see that you're like, "Oh my god!" Like we laugh about it. That doesn't mean like because I know how reverent my father is. I mean, if you go into somebody's home when the family's there, how serious my dad took those calls. Like I know that my dad would on those home calls, he would be praying on the way to those home calls that he would be able to show those people the compassion and the empathy that they deserved. And he did everything in his power to make sure that he was as reverent and compassionate and empathetic as possible. He has sat down with families. I mean, I know for a fact that my dad is literally sitting in complete strangers' houses for 6 to 8 hours, comforting a family who just lost their mother or father.
Mm-hmm. And prayed.
Yeah, and prayed with them,
Yeah.
talked with them, had a meal with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then literally carried their loved one out of their home and made sure that they were taken care of and respected. So that part of it is like, that's a pretty amazing job that not many people do. And so I have a lot of respect in that aspect of it, but it is, you would think like dealing with this, and there's some really sad stories, tragic stories, and I'm not going to talk about those.
Thank you.
Because they are literally just will break your heart.
We're not. Yeah,
We're not
here to
breaking hearts.
We're not here to find entertainment in that.
No, not at all. Trying to think about one of the other funny stories other than, so going back to my dad jumping out of his 89 Aerostar, and he ended up putting like 900,000 miles on that van. And he made a submission to Castrol Oil because that's the oil he used to change the van. He's like, I've only used your oil, like blah, blah, blah. I've put over 900,000 miles on this van. They sent him back a t-shirt and a quart of oil and thanked him for his submission.
What were they supposed to send him?
I don't know, but
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
what I don't know what his expectation was.
And the way you're saying it is like he was expecting so much more, and I'm
I think
thinking
he
they owed
was.
him nothing.
He
Owed
was.
him, actually, that was
I
on
think
him.
I think he really was. I think he was, like, expecting I don't know what he's expecting.
Is your dad awake right now?
No, I'm sure he's not.
Oh, that's right. If y'all call, you'll never get off the phone with him.
So
They talk. Oh, they'll just laugh and listen to each other laugh and then laugh some more. So we can't do that because I was going to say we could call him and say, what was your expectation from castor oil?
he never even wore the shirt. It was like he was offended. It's so weird, right?
Okay, so
But it's something I would do.
no, it's not. Not since you've met me, no, because I'd be like, what are you doing? Stop it. Don't waste a
I'd
stamp.
wear the shirt.
Oh, yeah, you'd wear the shirt, but you wouldn't. You still haven't gotten our money back for the chair that got lost because you don't want to fill out the form. So you would not.
I just consider it cost of the chair you currently own. It's just part of that cost.
I don't, because you paid for 2 and got 1 because you didn't want to fill out the form. See, guys, this is what drives me crazy. We lost money.
That's what does it.
We lost money because he didn't want to fill out a form.
I tried to fill out the form multiple times.
What's wrong?
It's very just like you get to a point and it's like don't process. It like doesn't process.
Well, are there any others?
The whole van thing, him jumping out, it's because when people take their last breath, they have air in their lungs. And so when he went over the railroad track, that air left that person's lungs and passed through their vocal cords, causing that sound. So he learned that once he got to the funeral home and probably had to change his pants. So I'll leave you with this. There was someone's remains that were never
Eugene.
They were never accounted for. Nobody ever claimed them. Right?
Which is so sad.
So sad. His name was Eugene Thomas.
Eugene Thomas.
And my senior year in high school was when my dad had picked this individual up and cremated him, and no one ever claimed him. So Eugene and his ashes sat on my kitchen table for the better part of a year, if not longer. And so when I would come home, because I wrestled or worked or whatever, I would come home and I would be eating dinner most of the time by myself, just on a regular weekday, because I'd get home late. I'd be having dinner with Eugene. When he first arrived, I didn't think anything of it. I thought somebody would end up, Daddy was just holding him for a week or two or whatever. But after, a month, I'm like, these ashes aren't going anywhere. And they just stayed there. So when I would sit down and eat, I'd be like, hey, what's up, Eugene? How's your day? You have a good day? Yeah, me too. And I would just have this conversation with him like he was sitting there.
Part of the family.
Literally went on. I would leave the house and be like, hey, Eugene, have a good day. Like it was just this ongoing conversation, right? And now that I'm older, I think about it and I'm like, you know what? It's really sad that nobody was there. No family member, no friend, nobody was there to claim his ashes. And I don't know exactly what happened with him. I think my dad eventually, I think he had to call DHEC and get permission. But I think Daddy ended up going and burying his ashes. But I remember as I got older, I've thought, if nobody claimed him, nobody was there for him at the end. But I don't know how many people I've told about Eugene Thomas. Hundreds of people.
Hundreds will hear this.
And so it makes me happy, like to the point of tears, that he's being remembered.
Eugene didn't have anybody in death, but he had you.
He's carrying on.
You know what it reminds me of is Coco. And, Macklemore said that you actually die twice. The first time when you leave this earth, and the second when the last person speaks your name. And Eugene Thomas, all these years later, from when you were a teenager until now you're in your 40s, we're still talking about Eugene. And to me, it's like Coco. They haven't faded away yet.
No, and I have no idea what Eugene looks like. I have no idea.
I bet I can find him.
I have nothing. I don't even know if I want to, honestly, because I don't need to put a face with it, because there's Eugene has a vibe.
Eugene is the vibe.
Right? So,
absolutely.
I think that just goes to speak to the fact that not all ghosts and spirits and people when they pass on are necessarily an apparition. They're not necessarily a figure that you can see or you can feel, but they're an energy.
Yeah.
Eugene's remains, cremated, processed, in that box, still had an energy.
Absolutely.
It was comforting to me. I didn't have to eat dinner alone. Right? There was a lot of stuff going on during that year of my life when I was 17, 18, I didn't have to eat dinner alone. I got to sit there with Eugene.
Where was your dad?
He was running calls.
See, Robin.
I mean, I know that there
I'm
was,
judging.
I know that there was times where my dad would be up literally working 72 hours at a time on maybe 3 hours of sleep.
I know. I know, and I respect him.
And this went on for decades, like 20 years. Like that's how he had to run his business.
And I get that. I just, as a mother and as somebody who grew up with a dad who worked a lot, like I can't imagine.
The other part is a lot of times I wasn't getting home till 8, 9 o'clock at night.
And I get that.
So,
just let me judge your father. I have so many reasons I can.
So, but yeah, I
That's just one more.
It makes me, and it's not makes me proud. It just makes me happy. It just makes me genuinely happy to know that that's someone that isn't forgotten.
That's right.
And I hope that even this story, I hope that people will tell other people this story and it will just continue and just his name will continue on because don't know if he was a good person, don't know if he was a bad person, but it's something that gives me hope. It gives me hope that there is something after we pass away, whatever, none of us, I don't think, truly know what happens because none of us have ever experienced it. But I know for a fact that people's presence, people's energy continues on 100%.
I love that. I love that you were there for him.
Well, he was there for me. Eugene got me.
Been recording all day. If y'all see me and y'all are like, man, she looks haggard. I've been recording since about 9 a.m. Okay.
You don't look that haggard.
I'm exhausted and I have a huge zit right here on my nose and it hurts.
It's not that
I want to
big.
shout. I want to shower.
Yeah, you need to do that.
I want to wash my hair really good.
Please.
I want to put a pimple patch right on my nose.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
And we have to record again tomorrow.
What? I'm down.
We have the Missouri State Prison.
Yeah, let's go. I look like I'm in prison.
So, yeah, you kind of do. You look like you're on a phone call with your family. Look what it says behind you. Asylum for the criminally insane women.
Oh, look at that picture. Tell them about that.
You drew that of me.
I didn't draw it.
You painted that
I
of me.
painted it.
God. But yeah, guys.
It's Ashley Death Warmed Over.
Yeah, and the other one I painted.
I look like a thumb.
You look, no, you don't. Emily looked like a thumb. You
That's
look
true.
adorable.
I do. I like a baby.
So, guys, thank you for listening. I don't know if
Thank you.
I don't know if you're gonna hear this because if we are having a time trying to get recording in the same room on the same
video, audio,
God.
all the technical production stuff that I have no idea about.
He's just
show
sitting
up.
there. He's just sitting there staring at me. I don't know. And I'm like, yesterday I had a full-blown panic attack trying to get this set up. And we were trying to record yesterday. But I mean, when I say I had a panic attack, I was having a legit panic attack. So no matter what, we are going to audio record the Missouri State Prison no matter what. Because
and we'll figure this out.
yeah, I'll figure it out.
I'll be here
You'll
for it.
be supporting.
I'll be here for it.
All right. Yeah, guys, follow me, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the things. Remember, when you're interacting with me online, you are actually interacting with myself. I am me, myself, and I. Nobody else manages the social media.
It's not bots.
Not bots. It's me. If I take a few days to get back to you, it's because I am completely overwhelmed in the best way.
Just remember, that's my wife.
Yes, that is. I am.
It's my wife.
Okay.
Respect her.
They do respect me. I have very good listeners. Back off. You look like an inmate. Stop it.
An inmate of your love.
Gag.
Lock me up. Throw me. So mean. So mean.
All right. Y'all, until next time, they'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.